VS Code is awesome. It is great. And I love the way I've set up mine. So I'm going to share how my VS Code setup is to you. First, let me walk you through the theme that I'm using. It's called Not. So if I should go to the Explorer extension panel, let me just search Not. Yeah, so this is the extension that I'm using for my team. Let me just show you how it looks like in a code base. So let's say let's go to the model. So this is just how it looks like, right? This is just how it looks like, and I think I love it so much. Then for the font that I'm using is called Z Mono. Yeah, Z Mono. So I'm just going to come to my preference, setting JSON, and here's the font I'm using. It's editor.font family Z Mono. It's actually the font that you see on the default by the Z editor, by Z Industry. So I really love this font a lot. So yeah, I was using JetBrains before now, but some few weeks back I just switched to Z Mono. So this is one I was using before now. So that's for my font. Yeah. So if you notice something in my VS Code, everything you can't see, everything is hidden, right? I have hidden everything because I don't like seeing too many things. Like I can toggle them on and off, right? I can toggle in line numbers, can toggle in whatever I need. And I'm going to walk you through the extensions that I'm using to do all of that. First things first, let me show you all the extensions that I'm using. First, I build mobile and web application with PHP and Flutter, right? So most times we interact with the database all the time. So for database, when I'm coding, I don't switch to database and switch to an external database manager like Table Plus or Workbench. So I just have DevDB. It's an extension. This is it. It's an extension that allows you to query your database. Like for example, this is a Laravel application. It can show me all the tables. Like for the user table, okay, there's a user table that I have. Right in VS Code, I don't need to jump out to an external app. And this extension was built by a guy called Damilola. Yeah, this is him, Damilola Emmanuel. Right, so you can just go check him out. He's a great guy. I love this DevDB extension. It has made my work easier because when I'm coding, I don't want to start jumping from VS Code. Same thing if you are building APIs, you are going to definitely use Postman to test your APIs. So same way I've set up Postman in my VS Code. So I just set up a shortcut, just Command Option B to toggle it in and toggle it out. So that's kind of like bring in Postman right here, and I can just switch to all my workspace and everything right here in Postman. Yeah, so let me show you the extensions. Apart from this node that I've shown you, have Postman for VS Code extension right here. I recently started learning Rust, so I have Rust Analyzer here. Then for the DevDB, this is the DevDB extension. Where are you? DevDB. Yeah. So this is DevDB extension that I just shown you. I use it for VS Code. So when I'm coding, I want to interact with APIs, I don't need to leave my system, my VS Code, right? I'll just toggle things in and out, and I am fine with that, right? So basically that's this. So I have a Laravel application right here. What I'm going to do is I want to show you how a workday look like for me. Do I have any? Okay, I have actions and forms. Let me come to forms, login form. Right. Okay, great. So now this is just a basic Laravel, Livewire, Forms. What I want to show you here, if you notice this code base, there is no line number and there is no bottom, what do you call it again? Status bar, right? Status bar than usually. So I do toggle them off. Even most times I don't open up this Explorer. I just hide it. If I want to look for a file, I'll just search for it by using Command P and then just type the name of the file and it comes up here, right? That's how I just switch. And if you notice something, I don't have tabs. And why is it that this line, my VS Code, just kind of look this minimal? It's because I've configured it to use with an extension called APC Customize UI++. Right, so this extension kind of like helped me to make my VS Code really minimal, like really minimal. You can set the fonts, color, a lot of things you can do with this extension. Right, so this is the extension I'm using to set up my VS Code to look the way it is. Yeah, so let's go back to the code base that I was showing you. Right, so there is no line numbers. So as a developer, you want to look at the line number, you are seeing an error. So I've kind of like set that up as well. Using Command L, line number comes in, Command L, it toggles. So I can toggle it whenever I like, right? The same thing with map, minimap. So I use Ctrl M to kind of like toggle in the map, right? The code map that comes with VS Code. By default, these things come up, right? But I don't like seeing them when I'm coding. There is a map here, so it's difficult for me to concentrate on one thing. Do you get? Yeah. So that's the major reason why I just set up to toggle off everything. The same thing with this bottom status bar. I use Command arrow to kind of like hide and show it. Right, Command arrow, hide and show it, hide and show it. So what exactly, why do I even need this? Probably when I want to switch Git, right, a Git branch, or I want to go live, or I want to use Prettier to format, or I want to check the amount of hour that I'm using the worker time, because I'm using the worker time extension to see how long I'm coding. I use live share as well to share my code base while I'm working with one or two persons, especially when I'm training online though. Right, so basically that's how I set this up. Now, what extension am I using to toggle in these line numbers like this? What extension am I using to toggle it up? Now, this extension I'm using is called Cycler, setting Cycler. So this is the extension I use to toggle things. This is the extension setting Cycler, right? I like it so much. It helps me to set this up. Like I said before, now if I can remember, I said so I build PHP and Flutter apps, right? So I have the other extensions that you are seeing here is just kind of like help me like to make my life as a programmer much easier. Like code spell checker helps me to correct spellings that are wrong in my code, right? Auto tag, these are for HTML and CSS. .env, most of all these extensions are all working handy for me, right? What other special extension? Prettier, I believe as a developer you know what Prettier does. Then tab out, right? See this tab out extension, it's awesome because most of the time when you're coding you don't want to use your mouse, you just want to hit tab and then you leave some setting spaces. So for example, this is where I am. I can just hit tab and it will take me, or I'm in here, you can see my cursor that I'm inside this. If I just hit tab, it takes me out. I'm not using my arrow keys, I'm just hitting tab, right? So it just take me out. Tabs just take me out like that. So that's what this extension is doing for me. So I write tailwinds. I love it so far. I like tailwind. And then I use worker time. This is the extension that helps me to kind of like check how many hours I'm using to code in a day, right? And the code base that I'm working on and all of that stuff, right? Yeah. So I don't think there's any other special extension that I've been using, right? No, there is no other extension. So basically that's all the extension that I'm using. I don't know if I'm missing any other thing, but basically that's all. So that's it for my VS Code detour. If there is any special thing you think you are using, please just share with me, and yeah, see ya, bye.